What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sequence. I'm your host, Trevor Plouffe, and today we have another very special guest, two-time All-Star, the pride of Azusa Pacific University, Oakland legend, Stephen Vogt. Steve, what's up, man?
Trevor, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you coming on today. This is a grinder day, a dad day. We're both here. We're recording very early because we got stuff to do, and that's just kind of part of it. But I appreciate you coming on. We talked about what kind of at-bats we wanted to do today. We have something special lined up for the second IB, but this first one is a big at-bat in your career, and I kind of want you to explain why.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, man. I appreciated our time. We got to play together, and obviously admired you from afar when you were in Minnesota. But this at bat right here from 2013 in the playoffs, it means a lot, and a lot of stuff went into this. We mentioned grinder, and I was a late bloomer, got to the big leagues late. I was 28, and this was my second year. Well, really, I had 4 months of time at this point, over 2 years. So getting into there and getting to catch all through AAA that year for Oakland, getting traded over from Tampa, and just given an opportunity to play in the playoffs. And I punched out 3 times leading up to this moment, and Sonny Gray and I had worked together all year at AAA, and then he came up, I came up shortly after, and we worked together a lot in the big leagues as well. But just getting to go against Verlander and the Tigers in this moment. But like I said, it was 0-0. Sonny had pitched right there with Verlander the whole game, and now we get to the 9th inning. We had the bases loaded, nobody out, and I have an opportunity to help our team win the game. And it's what we all dream of, is a chance to have a walk-off hit in the playoffs. And
Yes.
I played that scenario over and over in my head as a little kid in the front yard, in my room, whatever I was daydreaming baseball. This was the moment you dream of. And for me, getting an opportunity, I'd never faced Porcello before. And so bases loaded, nobody out. They bring him in to get a ground ball, to get the double play. So for me, it was, I need to see his first sinker. I can't just go up there hacking because I don't know how much it actually breaks. No matter how much video I watch,
Yes.
for me, I want to see it with my own eyes, because my own eyes have seen way more in the box than they have watching video, and I trust that a lot more. So I went up there knowing I was going to take the first pitch because I wanted to see how much it moved, and obviously it worked out in my favor. But coming into that at bat after punching out 3 times, I was confident. I was, as much as funny as it sounds, I was confident. I was, I had a great at bat against Verlander the at bat before, punched out on 10 pitches, and would fight, and obviously he won, and like he's done over and over against me and everyone. So, but yeah, this at bat was truly special for me in a lot of ways.
So I didn't watch this full at bat, but I did go back and watch that at bat because you said that Verlander at bat. You said it was one of your best bats of your career, even though you struck out, and it was an incredible at bat. And Verlander, this is like, I don't want to say peak Verlander because I feel like he's still really good, but
Yeah.
This is like, I'll say he was throwing cheese here, like he had everything working for him here, and
Yeah,
it was a great at bat.
No, I appreciate it. And he, it's funny that I always tell people one of the best at bats in my career was a punch out, but that's how good these pitchers are, as you know, is, sometimes, a punch out, I even look at it, that took his pitch count up over 115. Who knows, he may have come back out. Obviously, you look back, we didn't score in the 8th anyway, but at the moment it was like, all right, well, obviously I would have preferred to not punch out, but he's done. Now we can get to the bullpen and actually have a chance to win a game. And but he, I've faced him so many times over the years, and he's so good. He's just as good now as he was, 10 years ago. It's remarkable.
Crazy.
It's remarkable what he's doing.
Like I remember, 1 year in Detroit, I thought he was done. He kind of had lost his velo and just didn't seem like he had like the stuff. And then flash forward 5 years later, he's still doing it
He
at
is.
an elite level.
Yeah, look at it all through the playoffs. The last couple of years. He's still pitching as good as he has, ever. So he's a special talent, and just like we have a lot of them. But it's really special to watch someone put together that consistent of a career.
Yeah.
Because as we know, the consistency part, that's the tough part. So
Okay. Enough about him. This is about you.
Okay. I
This
just
is
like
about my
talking.
boy Steve.
I like talking about good ball.
I do too. This is probably pre I Believe in Stephen vote. I'd have to imagine, because this is pretty early on in your Oakland career. And if people
Correct.
don't know what I'm talking about, hopefully, Kyle, you can clip in some of that chant here. It's incredible when you came up to plate in Oakland. What are they called out there? It's not the bleacher creatures, but
I don't know. I don't think they have a name for themselves, but the right field bleacher fans and the left field bleacher fans. I mean, those are some of the best fans, most dedicated in baseball. I mean, there were nights at the Coliseum where we had 10,000 people, but the entire sections in left field and right field were full every night. It didn't matter. Didn't matter what the record was. Didn't matter what was going on. They were going to be there. They were going to be yelling, chanting, and when they started the I Believe in Stephen vote chant in 2014, that obviously that was one of the most special times of my career because I loved Oakland. I had made my I'd become a ball player there. I made my debut in Tampa, but never got a hit as a Ray, and so Oakland fans just embraced me, and I think that whole chant that I Believe in Stephen vote, it became such a deep meaning, more than just fans cheering for you. It was one of those things. And it stuck with me now. And here we are in 2020, and during spring training, I heard people yelling "I believe" from
I love it.
The random ballparks that we go play in. So it's they started it, and it's been following me around ever since, and I absolutely love it.
I mean, what a confidence booster to go. The loudest ovation I got in Oakland was when they released me and brought Chapman up. They were like, this is the best. Way to go, Trev. You did something for us.
Well, I love the self-deprecation, Trev, but you had some pretty good.
No, we had fun there. I love playing in Oakland. I love the fans there. I wish I had played better, to be honest with you. I mean, that was they gave me a great chance. I had a great time there. Mm-hmm. And
I'll say this, and I know what you're saying, because Oakland's a special place. It really is, and it's a place that doesn't get enough credit because of the stadium, because of it's one of the oldest stadiums that we have, but the fans are great. The coaching staff is phenomenal. I mean, it doesn't get any better than Bob Melvin, and it is. It's a great place to play.
It is. All right. I want to go into one more thing before we get into the at-bat. You're kind of hitting setup, your swing. Where is this all coming from? Is this just what you've done your entire life, or was there a moment or a coach who kind of helped you and got you ready to become the hitter that you are now? I mean, you've had a great career offensively as a big leaguer. Was this always something that you've done, or did you have to make a big adjustment to be able to have success at the big league level?
So I'll try and make this as brief as I can. But there's been two people and two major changes that I've made over my career. I guess three now, but that's a new story. We'll talk about it at this point in 2013. But in college, I went to NAIA Azusa Pacific, the Azusa Pacific. And I was a 3-time All-American through my junior year and didn't get drafted. I got hurt during my junior year and wasn't ready for the draft my senior year. And the time I went back, I was a career 415, 420 hitter in college. But I hadn't hit a ton of home runs. And my head coach, Paul Svagdis, who's still at Azusa, sat me down when I came back in the fall, and he said, "Hey, do you want to get drafted?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Then you need to change your swing." And I laughed at him. I'm hitting 420 in career, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You're not going to hit at the pro level if you keep hitting the way you do." And the only thing, I kind of hit off my front side in a slight way similar to Ichiro, where I kind of glided into the ball, where the only thing I could pull with any authority was a hanger. I was always drove the ball the other way, doubles, but not too many home runs. And that was his thing. Was he said, if you want to hit at the next level, we got to hit for more power. We got to stay behind the ball. And he made me go no stride for the entire fall. And so you're talking about a guy that, I hit 500 in high school, 400 in college, and now I went 2 for 76 in the fall.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm trying to figure out what the heck, but I'm trusting this, and I trust him. And obviously there was a lot of questions. There was a lot of doubt. I'm like, what the heck are you doing to me? And then so I stuck with it and I no strided. And then a week before our first game in the spring, he goes, "Hey, go ahead and stride now." What are we talking about, coach? Like, you just had me no stride. I was legitimately mad at him. Like, you just had me do something for 5 months that I got no results in. And then all of a sudden we get to our first game and I had 2 homers and 2 doubles. And I learned how to hit behind the ball. And he had to make me go 3 steps back so that I could go way forward. And I ended up having an unbelievable senior year, video game like. It was incredible. And that got me drafted and to the Tampa Bay Rays in the 12th round. And so that propelled me to go. So that was the number one thing, was learning how to hit behind the ball. So I still, to this day, I no stride my first round of BP, just to remind myself to stay behind the ball.
Interesting.
And then, the next one was in 2010 to 2011. And Jared Sandberg, who's now the bench coach for the Mariners, we live in the same town in the offseason, Olympia, Washington, and I hit with him every winter. And he looked at me and said, "You're going to be 26 and you're going to AA for the first time. That means either you're going to have a good year and go forward, or you're going to get released." He's like, "I'm just going to tell you how it is. So you got to have a career year." And I said, "Okay, what do I need to do?" He goes, "You need to stop trying to get a hit every time and start hitting some homers. We got to pull the ball with authority." I still was just trying to use the whole field, spraying, doing this, and I'd take my single to left instead of trying to drive the ball into right center. And he said, "If you want to go to the big leagues, you got to start hitting some homers."
That's early on to have that kind of thought process. You're talking 2010, 2011 here. This whole 3 true outcome swing is fairly new. So this guy, what was his name again?
Jared Sandberg. Yeah,
Jared Sandberg was ahead of his time right there with that advice.
Yeah, and I obviously I tell him this all the time. Probably he's sick of hearing it, but I'm like, he changed my career, because he didn't necessarily say, "Hey, try and hit homers," but it was like, you need to pull the ball with authority. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was, we worked on get the head out and take a shot. You don't have to, and I'm good enough hitter to where I'm still going to be able to put the ball in play. I'm not just swing and miss or. And I watched my walk number drop drastically. I was always pretty much a 1-to-1 walk to strikeout guy every year up until that point, and then we went way ahead in the punch out. But it was worth it. It really was. And I ended up hitting 18 homers that year. Had 100 ribbies in the minor leagues in 11, and got put on the roster that fall and made my debut the next year. So that was really where it went. And so it wasn't necessarily like a swing change. It was a mindset change. It was move my contact points out front a little more, be okay with swinging and missing. And I think that's one thing I saw was in that year, 2011, in the minor leagues between AA and AAA, I hit 300 or 298 with, I think 18 homers and 105 ribbies, but I swung and missed 800 times.
Oh my goodness.
So, but for me, as a guy who never swung and missed, like, I only punched out 80 times. So it wasn't like I wasn't punching out. I was just taking shots early in the count. I was okay with swinging through the changeup in a 1-0 count because I was committed to the fastball. Yes. I think there's this big, just because you swing and miss doesn't mean you're going to punch out. It's you take your shots, and then when you get to 2 strikes, you can still shorten up and put the ball in play when you need to. And I think that's something that, you need to know when to take your shot, and you need to know when to shorten up and try and put the ball in play. And that's something that we need to teach the young hitters, that it's okay to just go for it, but there's also a time and place that you need to shorten up and put the ball in play.
Yeah, that's kind of why when I think about you and guys that make those adjustments, I think power always needs to come last. If you're a young kid and you're like, all I want to do is hit homers, you're probably not going to end up being a good hitter. Like, you spent your entire life having, good contact skills, putting the ball in play, learning to hit the other way. And then after you have all those clubs in your bag, then you bring the driver out. You learned how to pull the ball right, you said. You learned how to hit for power later in your career. And I think that's kind of the right way to go about it. And we see a lot of young kids nowadays try to go power. And that is going to get you into trouble if you don't have, like you said, those other swings in your bag where you can shorten up. Times in the game dictate that. And I think that you are a great example of kind of the right progression in becoming a big league hitter.
Well, no, thank you. And I think too, as you know, hitting for power, I used to give a lot of lessons before I had kids and to go dedicate to that. And for me, everybody always asks, how do I hit for more power? And really, I didn't have an answer. I didn't. I was like, you get in the weight room, you do this. And really what I've come to find out is hitting for power is understanding what pitches you can go after. Yeah. I think for me, you're not going to go swing at the fastball down and away and try and hit that ball out of the yard. You're going to pop it up. You're going to hit off the end. There's no chance. But it's when you recognize those pitches that are up middle, the pitches you can drive, then you go after it. And I think that's something for me that really clicked in. It's not necessarily how I'm swinging or I need to have a power swing. No, it's pitch recognition and understanding when to go get it versus when to, take a shot at, hitting the ball the other way. It's pitch recognition and understanding you and your swing. That's when power comes. And I think that's why it is a lot of times the last tool to develop, because for those of us that aren't named Yelich, we don't have just that kind of pop. And, we have to learn along the way.
But even him, like he developed his power late too.
I wanted to just give him a little jab because
he's the best, but he has every swing in the bag.
Yes, he's incredible. That was probably outside of. Well, I probably had more fun watching him in 18 all year with Milwaukee. I was hurt and out for the year, so I got to just sit back and watch.
Dude,
one of the greatest seasons ever put together in our game, and I got the best seat in the house and got to talk to him after some of the ABs and stuff, and that's
stud.
Next level stuff.
All right, a lot of kids watch this. So kids, listen to Stephenville. He knows what he's talking about. We're going to get into the highlight now. We kind of already prepped it. It's ALDS 2013. Steve struck out 3 times before this at bat. And you come up in the bottom of the 9th. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Young Rick Porcello on the mound. Guy's a stud.
Yeah.
And you already told us you're taking first pitch.
Yeah, I'm going to take the first pitch because I want to see how this sinker is going to move. I know he's throwing me sinkers. And so I'm going to watch this one in all the way. I want to see the movement, release point. And right there, if I swing at that pitch, I pop it up 100%.
I got to go back right there. That's a nasty pitch.
I mean, he throws me, it's like a front hip sinker up in the zone. I mean, what? You're popping that up. If you're over aggressive right there, you're popping that up and you just squandered an opportunity for your team. And, obviously you've dreamed of this moment your whole life. So now I'm looking for it to start, middle in. I want it to be middle in so that it's going to run away. I don't want to fight. Don't want to fight with him inside. That's too hard to get inside of. I'm more than likely going to roll it over. I want to make sure it's going to be out away from me. And I'm looking for this to start mid-thigh or higher. I don't want to swing at anything that starts below mid-thigh because it's going to drop below the zone. Even though I'm a lefty and I love the ball down, I absolutely love it. I want to make sure that I get this ball up a little bit, but more importantly, away from me. I don't want it to start close to me.
So you're setting your sights middle in, knowing that ball is going to run back out over the plate, outer third. I'm assuming the infield is in. I think I can see now. And so your mindset here is up the middle, fly ball.
I'm looking to drive something right back up the middle. They're in, but they're pretty standard as far as shift goes. So I've got the middle of the field. I know if I can hit the ball up the middle of the field right here in the air, not necessarily trying to elevate, but I'm trying to get under the ball a little bit. And I want to just drive it right back. I always think I want to drive the ball up the pitcher's right ear. That's what I like to think about. So the opposite side ear of the pitcher. So if you're a righty, I try to drive the ball off the left ear of the pitcher, lefty, right ear of the pitcher. That's what I like to think about. So because that's going to keep me on the ball a hair longer than if I'm trying to pull it.
Okay. And if this shot right here is incredible.
Yeah, it is. This
People say the bright lights. Look at this.
I'm getting all the feel. We had 50,000 A's fans going nuts right now. It was
oh my gosh.
So loud.
I'm getting chills just watching this game. I love it. Let's go to pitch 2. right here, 0-1, he just came at you with the front hip two-seamer. So what do you got here? You think it's secondary pitch or going back to that?
I mean, honestly, right here, I'm staying sinker the whole time. One of our former teammates, Josh Fagley, I played with him after.
Bear.
As he always used to say, never leave the heater. For me, it's funny the way he would say it, but he's right. And especially in this situation, he's not going to throw me a breaking ball here. The only thing that can happen with a breaking ball right here is I get to fly out, and that's what I want to do. So, especially as a catcher, I've learned over the years, a breaking ball has to be for chase. You cannot throw a breaking ball in the zone to a major league hitter in a run around third less than 2 situation, because we're all good enough where we're going to elevate that ball into the outfield, and that gives us a chance.
All right, so you're on the heater. Obviously, Rick's like, let's get a ground ball here.
Yeah.
Get the guy at home. Take my chances on Bill play next batter. So.
Yeah. So I'm looking out over right here.
That shot's amazing.
That's beautiful, man.
All right, 0-1.
DOC. So right.
That's a 4-seamer.
I think it's a sinker, but I think he started it too far in, right? So if he kind of yanked it a little bit.
Okay.
I remember that feel. I can obviously go right back in the box, and I remember seeing him, open up a little early, and then he yanked it in there. So it was kind of an easy take, to be honest.
Hold on. You're saying you're hitting, and because you're a catcher, you saw his shoulder kind of fly a little early, and you knew he was going to yank the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's my job as a catcher, is to read pitchers' body language, and I think, I always wonder why we can't hit better as catchers, but for me, a lot of hitting and pitch recognition is reading body language, and you can see if a pitcher pulls off just a hair early, so if they get out front, they're going to yank it. If they're a little late, that's the one that we're going to absolutely. And those things too. It's just subconscious.
And you took that so easily and comfortably. Pitchers see that, catchers see that too. So now they're like, okay, he's seeing this sinker.
Mm-hmm. So
now what?
So honestly, this was the one pitch that I had a little bit in the back of my mind. I remember thinking, all right, because of that very reason. Okay, I just spit on that sinker that was pretty close, but it was like an easy spit. So maybe he's going to try a slider here. Like I said, I'd never faced him before, and I didn't watch video on him before this game. And we had no iPads in the dugout. I had not seen any video on Porcello, so I didn't even know what his breaking ball looked like. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with the sinker, keep my same thing. I'm looking middle in and up, like mid-thigh, and let's see what happens.
All right. Another great shot of the field. 1-1.
Vogt lines it into left field, a base hit. Cespedes will
There it
score.
is.
It's exactly what you were trying to do right there. You said you're looking for a ball that starts middle in, goes back out over the plate. You're looking to drive it that way up the middle, and let's go back and watch it again.
And that's the thing too, is like there's so few moments.
So he set up away. I'm sorry I didn't interrupt you, but he set up away there.
Mm-hmm.
He really wants that ground ball.
Yeah, trying to get the ground ball, trying to get me to reach, and he yanked it again a little bit, right? Yanked it, but yanked it in a good spot, middle in, and very rarely do we actually get the pitch we're looking for and get to put the swing on it that we want. But right there, I think I go back to, I could be looking to hit a homer there. I could be looking to drive the ball pull side in the air, but that you're out in those situations when you try to do that. You have to be able to know what the situation is and go get it done in that moment, right? Like, who didn't want to hit a walk-off grand slam right there or hit a ball in the gap? But that was just as efficient, and obviously it was one of the best, if not the best hit of my career, and it just gives me chills remembering.
I love it, dude. That's discipline, man.
Mm-hmm.
In those high pressure situations, to have the mindset, that's what sets you apart.
Absolutely. And I truly believe that because I was disciplined enough to take that first pitch, it set up the whole at bat.
Sure.
It's okay to go down 0-1. It's okay. It's okay. You still have to throw 2 more strikes to get you out. And I
Absolutely.
think and I think we get lost in that. And, I've had plenty of coaches, and you take that first pitch strike,
Yep.
but I still get two more. I still have two more. So I don't know. Yeah, that was a great moment. I mean, look at these shots. I've watched more YouTube videos of this, like from fans that they took from all perspectives of ballpark. It's so cool. So cool.
It's an awesome at bat, an awesome game, an awesome day in your life, and I appreciate you coming on to kind of share your insight there. A lot of good tidbits you shared with us. So
yeah,
you're the man.
It's fun to reminisce, and it's fun to talk baseball. And
it is.
Obviously, it's not like I'm sitting here saying I'm perfect and I stay in my approach all the time, but when I do stay in my approach, I'm pretty good.
You're pretty good's an understatement. 2-time All-Star, Stephen Vogt. Done with at bat number 1. We'll come back with a little special surprise for at bat number 2. But Steve, thank you for giving us your time.
Of course.